Yeah, it's even more of a joke than just having the same kind of like lazy ass intro, like a joke about how I need to change up my intro. It's like, I don't know, I just don't have a trademark thing, and it's raining. God damn it. Boy. Yeah, I think, yeah, didn't I say it's been a while since I looked over the old episodes. I have recorded about four, I think. Four, since the new year has started. Well, I think like three since the new year has started. So, yeah, none of those are currently uploaded, at time of recording, but, I hope to just, get it freaking sorted out. I am currently rendering a video right now, and I'm watching it like a hawk as much as I can to see. Um, yeah, again, do I need to talk about my rendering issues again? I talked about it. I talked about it in another unreleased episode. Yeah, I still do have like unreleased episodes from pre-reboot. Yeah, like before the reboot, I think, of like yeah, I don't know. I don't think much of it's that interesting. So yeah, I guess. Yeah, I guess I've decided to just toss those for now. I might like find them and like maybe clip them up, post segments of them. Maybe that will be easier to render than just a full, almost hour-long episode of just Minecraft. Yeah, it's just the fact that I don't know OBS, like I make sure it outputs in like freaking a 1080p file, and then somehow freaking it ends up as like 3 to 4 gigabytes, even if it's just like an hour on my computer. Like seriously, man, I don't know. Like the price of like recording like PC footage in this day and age. Oh man. But yeah, of Minecraft. Of all things, of Minecraft. I play other games, yeah, like Emily is Away, the file sizes weren't that big, Oh man. Okay. Exciting start to the episode. I think I might want to start work on a farm, but I don't know. Yeah, because this episode, like the previous two or three, I actually have something I want to talk about. I actually have an good planned topic for this episode. So yeah, let me just I kind of want it to not be raining for it though. I don't know. Okay. I wonder if I should like build a bridge. Ooh, yeah, maybe that's a good idea. Okay, I'm gonna build a bridge right here. Let me see. Or is it? Yeah. How about like right here? How right here I build a bridge? There. Okay. It's nighttime now, right? Please? No? No? Okay then. I guess not. Let me just build that bridge. Yeah, I significantly turned the music down, so probably will be a bit harder to hear it. But, it's for the best, right? Okay, here you go. 2. Okay, so what did I want to talk about today on this fine day, February 20th? 20th or 21st of 2022? Okay, so I think it has been known, I've made it known pretty clearly, I don't know, if any of you watching, if anyone has watched and has, I don't know, watched my previous commentaries, let's plays, I don't know. Yeah, the one thing I've been thinking about recently is my taste in media, okay? More specifically, TV shows and movies. Yeah. And, okay, oh, I'm gonna drown. Oh no. Why doesn't it just automatically refill? Come on, why does it have to recharge like that? Okay, so my taste in movies and TV shows. Oh man. I think again, I have like blog posts. Yeah, this is more like a blog post, but just extremely messy. So, yeah, okay. Just prepare. I'm just gonna go off on tangents, maybe. So, my taste in movies and TV shows. Mostly, I'm not really a fantasy person. I'm not really a sci-fi person. I like stories that are contemporary. I like, stories that dwell in quote-unquote realistic fiction. But, I usually don't really, I don't know, go out of my way to see stories. I don't know. Uh, I don't know. What am I trying to say? I like contemporary stories. I like watching shows and movies about teens. Okay, that's the thing. I like shows and movies about teens. You would know the connection is that I really like reading YA books. Okay, and I basically wrote a YA novel like a couple years ago. So there you go. I like YA books. I just like in general stories about teens. And I've been thinking about that recently in regards to a movie that has come out. I watched it on HBO Max. And this movie, the name of the movie is The Fallout. Yeah. Not Fallout the game. Not Fallout the game that Bethesda absolutely stomped on. The legacy of Obsidian and frickin' Chris Avalone's hard work. but The Fallout is a movie I watched on HBO Max, and oh man, the trailer, I saw a trailer for it. I don't know how, this came on my radar exactly like this. I saw a trailer for it, right? I saw a trailer for it on YouTube. Because, the movie is on HBO Max, and there's this big trailer. It's a big drama thing about teens, and on one of the freaking one of the, promoting, blurbs, quotes, right? You know how, in movies, trailers, it cuts to this review site says it's an absolutely funny, movie or something. It's absolutely a hilarious ride from start to finish. Okay, one of the quotes when the movie was being advertised was the first defining movie of Gen Z, and I'm like, really? The first defining movie of Gen Z. And I'm like, sign me to hell up. No. No, I was not like that. I was extremely negative towards it. I have a 5-tweet thread based on it. I have 2 different tweet threads. I have a tweet thread basically reacting to that frickin' comment. And then I have a tweet thread after watching the movie. If I feel like you can tell that I don't like it. And I have a tweet thread detailing just my thoughts in general. So, anyways, The Fallout, one of the things about it is that it's the first defining movie of Gen Z, says some guy for some, review site or whatever. Okay. Already, I think, the first defining movie of Gen Z. Oh, yeah. I haven't explained what it's about. It's basically just about, a school. It's not really about a school. It's not about really the greater, students of a school. It's just about this girl, named, who's it, Zeta? Yeah. This girl's named Zeta, right? She's the main character. It mostly follows her. And, it's a normal day. She goes to high school one day, and then, she's in the bathroom with another girl, and then, there's a school shooting, right? And the whole movie is about the fallout of it, surviving, being, a school shooting survivor, right? And how, she deals with it personally. Mostly just how she deals with it personally. I mean, I'll get into it. Hopefully. So that's basically the plot of the movie. Right? And obviously just I think I'm just explaining my tweet thread. It's the first defining movie of Gen Z is says someone, is a movie about, the student, is about a movie about surviving a school shooting. Yeah, and then just my obvious response is like, that's kind of sad. Like, I kind of don't like the idea that the first, quote, defining movie of Gen Z is about surviving a school shooting, right? Like, I don't. It just doesn't sit right with me, like, I feel like, yeah, and it just got me thinking, like, okay, so if The Fallout isn't the first defining movie of Gen Z, what is the defining movie of Gen Z in my mind? And my two answers I came up with were Love, Simon, right, and The Hate You Give. Both of them came out in 2018. Both of them are film adaptations of YA books. Okay, the What Hate You Give, Angie Thomas wrote that. I feel like you should have probably already known by now, by how much I talk about it. Becky Albertalli wrote Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda, which was, the movie Love, Simon. Based on it. They both came out in 2018. They're both YA book adaptations. Yeah, and I feel like, in my mind, like, those are just the ideal representations of Gen Z in film, right? Yeah. I don't know. Do I need, like, yeah, should I go more in depth than my Twitter thread on, like, why I think that is? Oh man, need to take a breath here. it's long-winded. Yeah, like, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, because if you just think about it, like, The Hate You Give is about, a teen who deals with, Star deals with, one of her childhood friends getting shot, like, and being killed right in front of her eyes by, a police officer, right? And the fallout from that, and, like, the whole, like, her fear of, like, trying to be, like, she just doesn't want to stand out, but she also wants to find her voice and be like, she wants to protest against this, right? She wants to, basically, like, honor her dead friend, and make sure that he's just not another name, Yeah, the Black Lives Matter movement, is such a big inspiration for it, right? Yeah, obviously, it's just pertinent to, like, the mid to late 2010s, the Black Lives Matter movement. And, Gen Z, mostly teens who are teenagers in the mid to late 2010s. And, yeah, early 2020s so far. So, yeah, that's why I feel like it's a representation of Gen Z, right? Yeah, and Love, Simon is about, a teen who deals with, I don't know, not really the challenges of coming out, because it's stated, like, in the movie, because it's pretty clear, like, in the book and in the movie, that his parents are supportive, right? He could come out to his parents, and it would probably be fine. Like, he has no fear of his parents, his family as a whole, not accepting him for being gay, right? But the problem is that, that decision of, like, should I come out, gets taken away from him because he gets blackmailed because of some guy, wanting to frickin' get with a girl who's one of his friends. Yeah. Okay. Did I explain that plot well? And, I feel like that's pertinent to Gen Z because, obviously, like, LGBT stories are becoming more prominent, in the 2010s and so on. Yeah, and, like, just the whole concept of, like, teen identity, right? Yeah, finding yourself as a teen. Like, I feel like that's very, I feel like Love, Simon deals with that very well. Not just, like, for being gay, but, like, I don't know, in general, like, a lot of the characters in it, I feel. So, yeah, that's basically why I think those two, like, much better, like, represent Gen Z as a whole. And, like, plus you just have the overall atmosphere, right? Like, the whole, like, I don't know, the whole, using social media, right? Like, social media plays a big part in both of those stories, Yeah, okay, so those are my picks for defining movies of Gen Z that I like and I feel are, better than The Fallout. Okay. Okay, so should I now talk about my issues with The Fallout? Yeah. Yeah, this is gonna tie into a lot of things. I don't know. So basically, basically, I don't know. What is my biggest issue with The Fallout. I don't know, man. It's just, man, I don't know. As a story, like, is there anything wrong with it? It's like, no. Like, I mean, like, if you want to tell a story about, like, surviving a school shooting. Yeah, that's great. Like I feel like yeah, that those types of stories should be told, right? Stories about hard subjects like that should be told, right? And I will give the movie credit. I will give the movie credit. The ending scene, like the very final scene, is like really well done. Like if the movie was only that final scene, I think it would have been great. I would have really loved it. But unfortunately it isn't. You have to just get through like it's just I don't know. I don't know. It's just the more I think about it, the more it just doesn't sit right with me. Like not from like a moral perspective, none of that. It just from just like it just I don't know. Yeah, it's just a bit the writing. The dialogue is just so freaking cringy to me, right? And like I don't know if that's just me not being a teenager anymore, right? But I feel like I'm very confident that Zoomers don't freaking speak like that. I like how they do in the Fallout. Like they don't like it's just like such a freaking I don't know. It's I keep on referencing my Twitter threads. Yeah, it's just reeking of just like millennials trying to get teenagers, right? Just that whole problem. Like when in terms of like how movies and TV shows featuring teen characters are written, right? And this goes into just like a lot. I've been thinking about this a lot, like on a grander scale, right? The majority of like stuff I like featuring teenagers, I don't know. I can count on like one hand like the ones that are actually like really well written and are really well written like teenagers are, right? Like how teenagers would actually, act and speak, right? Daria, I feel like, is basically, I mean, maybe like someone like Daria just doesn't exist in your life, but I feel like there are plenty of people who act like, Jane and freaking Kevin. That's what makes it so great is that those are like archetypes that will exist in high school no matter what time period, right? It has such a timeless quality to it, even if it's only like, even if it's very rooted in the 90s and like Gen X culture, right? Yeah. And like Friday Night Lights, I mean, that doesn't really have a problem with it. It's not trying to friggin', I don't know, appeal to teens too much, right? But just on such on a much grander scale, like there's just such a, like, I don't know, even shows I like Never Have I Ever, right? Like, you can tell, right? Yeah, Mindy Kaling is one of the people responsible for it, right? It's like, yeah, I mean, it is like, the writing, I don't know. I guess it's just my freaking extreme pickiness, right? I don't know. Yeah, Never Have I Ever specifically. Like, yeah, my thing is like I just make a distinction in my head. Like when I'm watching a show or a movie about teens, right? Like, and I see the dialogue or just like whatever, just the general like vibe of it. Either I put it in two categories. I put it into like, is this a story that like adults are just want to tell on their own, but they're just using teenagers as their subjects? Or is this a story about actually trying to capture what it's like to be a teenager, right? Like, those are basically the two camps, right? Are you just using teenagers as like your subjects, basically, for your own like personal kind of study, right? And like it really it doesn't matter. Like they could be adults, but you just chose them to be teenagers, right? Yeah, same thing with like, children too, right? Yeah, a lot of people have like, adult kind of stories, but with like children as their as the main characters. Yeah. But those kinds of ones, I feel like Never Have I Ever is very much like, you can tell like adults are like writing the jokes that like, okay, this is what we think a teen will say, right? This is what is making us laugh as adults if teens would say this to each other, right? That's what it feels like to me, rather than like, okay, how do we like how do we like make jokes that like friggin' like are actually that like I don't know people of their age would actually make, right? How do we I don't know if I'm explaining this well at all. Yeah. So those are the two camps. The other camp is like what, like did I say? Yeah, actually trying to capture the teen experience, right? Okay, a good example of that segment is The Perks of Being a Wallflower, right? The Perks of Being a Wallflower is perfect, right? I mean, I don't know how old Stephen Chbosky was when he first wrote it, but like you read it and it's like the voice is freaking like on point. Like, it's there, right? Yeah. And like the movie, again, it's based on a book, which is interesting. I'll get to that a bit later, right? The movie is also written and directed by Steven Chbosky too, which is probably why the movie is basically just as freaking good as the book, right? The scene when freaking David Bowie's Heroes plays when they're freaking going through the tunnel, man. And, Charlie's like, I am infinite, no, we were infinite, I feel infinite, yeah. When Charlie stands up above the car, feeling the wind through the tunnel at the end, and then before he watched, the girl, oh man, dude, Emma Watson. There you go. Yeah, that's an example of the other one where it's like, yeah, I feel like Steven Chbosky, when he wrote that, like, he actually, like, nailed freaking what it was like to be a teenager, like, in the early 90s, like, really extremely well, right? And yeah, that's one of the reasons why it's such a timeless story. Yeah. Okay, so what am I getting? Okay, alright, another point, the whole, like, freaking, okay, the distinction. You notice how I'm talking almost exclusively about, like, my problems with teen stuff, right? It's movies and TV shows. I made a point in one of my tweets that I feel like YA authors have a better grasp in general, mostly in general, like, on the whole, they have a better grasp of, like, I don't know, like, they have a better grasp of, like, writing, teen characters, right? That act and talk realistically, barring a few exceptions, right? Like, most of them, Becky Albertalli, Adam Silvera, the obvious ones I say all the time, right? And like most of them that aren't those people, right? It's like, yeah, I read like I could pick up like most YA books today, right? And I feel like I could just instantly, connect with the voice of the characters, because it's like, it's not freaking extremely gimmicky. It's not gonna be like, I'm not gonna freaking pick up a YA book today and like open the first 2 pages and be like, Julie was practicing TikToks in her bedroom mirror while someone else watched, right? Which is an actual scene from The Fallout. Like, I don't understand why that's an actual scene. I don't understand. Like, literally, the other girl character played by Maddie Ziegler, like, just practicing a TikTok over and over and over again, while freaking Zeta is just like chilling, like, why is all I have to say. Okay, yeah, so that's my other point. Like, YA authors, I feel, have a better grasp of, like, writing relatable teen characters, for me, than freaking people who, than like was it directors, screenwriters, showrunners, whatever. Yeah, I think it's just very much that, like, a lot of people just want to do the first thing I described, of just like wanting to tell stories using teens as their subjects, right? Yeah, and there are good examples of that, like Lady Bird, right? Lady Bird is a good example of that. Like, it's not really like, this is what it feels like to be a teenager in this time, right? It's more just like, oh, here's just a coming of age story with a girl who's in Sacramento, right? Yeah. And like Booksmart is the same way. It's just like, oh, here just, they want to just tell a story about like 2 girls who just wanted to party, right? At the end, because they were freaking always Booksmart. Or like Superbad or stuff like that, right? There's a very like obvious difference to me, right? Do you want to tell a story, just like teens are our subjects, but it doesn't really need to be teenagers, versus like, I want to write a story specifically, it's the thing. It's what makes, young adult stories feel young adult, right? Yeah. And like, I feel like it's like, I mean, a lot of people just don't have problems or don't like think about it like that. But, as someone who has written stories that I'd describe as YA, where like, I feel like that's just my natural voice as a writer, right? I feel like why I hold stories about teens so near and dear to my heart is because that's just what I'm passionate about, right? Like, obviously, like, yeah, my favorite book in the world is The House on Mango Street, but I just, one of the reasons why it is my favorite book is because of the voice, right? It's just the voice, like, of this young freaking girl just rings out to me so much, and I just relate to it just on such an amazing level, right? Yeah. I just feel just like that's my natural voice as someone who writes stuff, right? I write in a voice naturally suited for YA, I feel like. Maybe not. I mean, I don't know. Maybe the person who wrote The Kissing Booth felt that. Oh no. Or maybe the person who wrote After felt that. But, on the whole, yeah, I'm giving YA authors props here. But, it doesn't mean I have to tear down freaking other people who aren't YA authors who write stories about teens. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. Oh, man. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, man. That was another freaking doozy. How long have I been going? How long have I been going? Oh my god, I feel like I just don't have, I haven't gotten even to, half of what I wanted to say. I built a bridge and that's it, okay, guys? That's the progress. That's the progress you're getting today. Oh, man. Oh, man. Yeah, so where does this lead into? Yeah, you have more criticisms of the Fallout? Yeah, it's just my criticisms are just mostly that, it's written by it just reeks of just hey, we're trying to capture what it is like to be a Gen Z teen in 2019, in 2020, and it's I feel just like the story could have been way better off if you didn't try to do that. Dude, go to frickin' teenagers as your subjects route, Just don't make any... It would have been so much better if it just didn't make any reference to modern times, right? If it just, only had, texting and social media and that's it. Not a girl trying to frickin' make a TikTok 5 times over and over. Or just, the whole, have, watching TLC shows on the couch, right? And then, when Zeta's with her therapist, she, talks about, the seasons of the Kardashians, those, early seasons. It's, I don't know, it just doesn't, it's trying to feel like we made, authentic teen voices in this one. We tried, the writer, it feels to me, it's we tried to capture, what it was like, we feel this is, a story that, a lot of teens will friggin' relate to. And it's yeah, on the school, I mean, I don't know, And that's the thing, it's it's trying to do a noble thing, which is tell a story about surviving a school shooting and the effects of it and the psychological trauma of it. And the ending implies that you're never really over it. You're gonna have to deal with trauma, for the rest of your life, as long as you live, right? I mean, that's the whole point of it. Right? But it's just how it took what it's couched in is just constant scenes of just oh god, these are just aren't we being authentic as teenagers? Aren't these teen characters being so authentic? Aren't they just so relatable? Isn't Zeta so relatable when she acts and speaks this way? Isn't it just such a freaking, isn't it just so realistic? That's what I get out of it, and it's just that's just not it for me, man. It's just not it. Yeah, it's just, I'm not. Oh, man. This is tiring. Oh, good. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, one movie of the teen movies I liked that I forgot to throw in, based on a book, was To All the Boys I Loved Before. Yeah, that actually, yeah. Again, that's very, did I speak on before, how it feels very retro and also modern at the same time? Yeah, I mean, just by virtue of the fact that it's about, sending, about, writing love letters and stuff like that, It feels classic, but classic in terms of, I don't know, a teen story you would kind of read in, the early 90s, Babysitter's Club era stuff, just a basic story of a girl sends love letters and they accidentally gets sent out. That feels like a story not, strictly, made in the 2010s. But I think writing physical letters are coming back. So, maybe not. Yeah, just to me. Yeah, but it's also modern. There's also There's also, social media plays a role, and like freaking, or like anonymous forums and stuff. Yeah, same thing with Love Simon, right? The whole thing, like, was it, Simon being gay gets leaked on freaking, this forum blog called Creek Secrets, right? Yeah. Oh man. I don't know. I mean, I think what you probably are getting out of this, if anyone's watching, is that I am extremely picky, and it's like, yes, that's true. When it comes to like movies and TV shows, right? Oh man, but it's like, I don't know. Yeah, certain things. I shouted out a bunch. Yeah, On My Block, Trinkets, Alexa and Katie. Yeah, like teen shows that I actually do enjoy. All of them are like not straight up dramas. They're more comedic in tone, right? But they can have dramatic moments if they want to, right? Okay, which gets me into another. Okay, you thought I was done. You thought I was done. You thought I was done. Okay, I have more, because remember when I asked what's the teen drama for this generation? Well, we have our answer. I answered in a previous episode. It's called Euphoria, right? Euphoria is that show. And I finally watched an episode of it. I have watched episode 1. And you know what happens in the first few minutes of episode 1? Rue is narrating, and she's like, I was born 3 days after 9/11. Okay? Alright? Okay? Okay? Like, I don't know. Like, I'm not saying that makes me instantly like not like it, but it's just like, oh man, I don't know, man. Yeah, true. But like, obviously, I like Euphoria better than the Fallout. Okay, just saying, I like it better. I feel like Euphoria can be a good show if I give it a chance. I don't think I'll love it. I think at most I'll just like it. I'll just think it's like a 7 out of 10, right? you know is it worth following true for that? I don't know. But yeah, basically it's just like, yeah, that's just Euphoria. Yeah, and the whole thing of like, yeah, okay, how my tastes have changed, right? I feel like I would have eaten this show up when I was like 16, right? It's like hard and gritty, and there's like, sex and drugs, and it's like, yeah, it's all this stuff, right? That I don't know, but yeah, I think I've heard from, like, I don't know, the subreddit or like Twitter, because I can't escape people tweeting about Euphoria, right? It's just that, I don't know, maybe it just turns into just Breaking Bad but with teen characters, and I'm like, who wants to see that, man? I don't know, I don't know. It also makes me think too that, like, another show that, was based on a book that I don't like that much, 13 Reasons Why, right? 13 Reasons Why got criticized because, the obvious scene, right? There's a lot of criticisms of it, of mental health and stuff, but like, I don't know, like, I think obviously Euphoria is like being more tasteful of it, right? But there are like criticisms from, like, I don't know, people who are like having a moral panic about it, maybe, of like, why is this is literally a show about, teens doing a bunch of freaking drugs, and it's just like, yeah, and it's, I don't know, right? I don't know, like, is it, I don't know, is it, and it just makes me think, like, what the audience is for it, right? Like, what is the audience for Euphoria? Like, is it like, is Sam Levinson, the creator writer, trying to appeal to teens? Like, what is overall the, like, the audience for it, right? I assume it's just like people no matter what, right? But I don't know. I feel like yeah. Okay. This also gets into, okay, this is gonna get into another thing. The distinction between what I call upper YA and lower YA. Not what I call it, what other people have been calling it, right? What I latched onto and took and have been thinking about, right? Okay, so what is upper YA and what is lower YA to me, right? It's mostly, in like YA books, but I think it's interesting applying it to like movies, TV shows, other stuff too, right? To me, like upper YA is, yeah, like upper, yeah, most of YA I feel like rests in like the upper category, which means that like most people who are reading those certain types of YA books are like adults, right? They're like at the youngest probably like 16, but like most of the people who read it are like in their mid 20s, even in their 30s sometimes, right? Yeah, which is a problem in YA recently, right? Like a lot of people have been discussing that like a lot of people are like, is it weird that I'm aging out of YA? Like says someone on Twitter who's like, 25, 26, right? I just don't really want to read stories about teenagers anymore. I want to read Sally Rooney. No shots about Sally Rooney, but still. I want to read a Reese Witherspoon book club pick. anyways. Yeah, like that's upper YA. And what I feel like, yeah, like there's this booktuber, there's this author tuber that I've been watching recently who talked about in a video like, you know, there's also this category, a made up category, but still of like lower YA, which is like appealing to actual teens, most first and foremost, right? Stuff like the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, and like what I assume like To All the Boys, and the Babysitters Club, and like just like lower YA basically just means like, I don't know, like the actual intended audience, like books about teens that like mostly teens read, and like Anna and the French Kiss, I would assume, right? There's probably like a lot of like mid 20s people reading that, but still like stuff, yeah, just stuff like that, just the fluffier, lighter, stuff that isn't like as hard, like it doesn't isn't like as like message heavy as like Angie Thomas's books are, or like doesn't include like grittiness, right? Yeah, and I feel like we've seen lower YA kind of dissipate, right? There aren't that many stories that kind of appeal to that sort of thing of like mostly appealing to like people who are like teenagers and under, right? And as someone who's aging, right, as someone who's 21, it's like, yeah, I mean, I understand, right? But like I have no fears of like aging out of YA. You know why? Because I've been into middle grade, right? Yeah, I've talked about Mercy Suarez, right? I tweeted out like, instead of aging out of YA, I've aged into middle grade. I like middle grade a lot because I feel like that has kind of taken over the space that lower YA books like The Sisters of the Traveling Pants used to be in, right? I mean, minus the romance, right? Minus that. Like middle grade books don't really have romance that much, right? You have great stuff like Ivy Aberdeen's Letter to the World and like Mercy Suarez. Like these are just character driven stories, right? That don't have, that, yeah, like you don't need romance for it, which a lot of writers would probably be like, oh, gee, thank God, I don't have to write a romance subplot. Yeah. Yeah, which is great. And I love just the personal, like, character driven nature of middle grade stories like that, right? Yeah. Okay, so how did I get on the upper lower YA thing? Yeah. Okay. My point, yeah, is my point there complete? Is that, yeah, like like mostly we've seen lower YA kind of stories not be as popular, right? And being kind of phased out, right? Yeah, just the whole thing in general, right? Of like, yeah, I watched like a live stream that YouTuber did with someone else, and yeah, they were pointing out, right? Are there like characters who are under 15 in YA? Like, are there any YA books about 14-year-olds? Are there any YA books about entering high school rather than leaving high school? Other than Perks of Being a Wallflower, other than that, right? It's like, I can think of one. There's one book called Speed of Life, which starts at the end of 8th grade and ends like at like the middle or the end of the main character's freshman year of high school. But other than that, like I have found none, almost pretty much like no books in the YA, category about 14-year-olds or like entering high school or even like being 15, right? It's weird, isn't it, right? Yeah. Like, I kind of want that to come back, Yeah, like, after seeing the video, I'm just like, yeah, that is a thing. Like, I kind of do want those kinds of stories to come back, right? Oh, man. Oh god. Yeah, and I guess that's my thoughts on upper and lower YA. Okay, added on to this like smorgasbord of freaking topics. Okay, what else? What else? What else? Oh yeah, I was talking about Euphoria, which led into that. Do I have any more thoughts on Euphoria? I mean, I'm sure if I watch more of it, it would be cool, but yeah, I think I think mostly I'm good. I think I might watch a bit more of it, but it just illustrates. Okay, gonna bring it back full circle. Full circle now. It just illustrates just how much my taste in, stuff has changed over the years, right? Like I would have, I don't know, I went from watching like One Tree Hill, which had just like insane like stupid like soap opera freaking levels of just stupid ass BS drama, right? And like enjoying that as a 16-year-old to like now I'm just like give me just like a fun show about two characters having fun. Give me Alex and Katie. Give me freaking, give me like two characters who are really supportive and like they have a really good friendship and that's basically most of it, right? Yeah, like just give me those types of stories rather than like I don't know. Oh, two llamas? Give me like those types of stories rather than just I don't know the hard gritty stuff. Like I kind of don't want to watch Breaking Bad with teenagers. That's kind of extremely reductionist to reduce Euphoria down to that, but I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I think like on the whole, like maybe like Sam Levinson wants to tackle stuff like what the opioid epidemic, right? And wants to illustrate that like drugs aren't like a poor person thing, like it's a like middle class to upper middle class people, like are actually the worst, or I don't know, like have problems with drug addiction too, right? And that like drug addiction isn't an adult thing only, it's also a teen thing, and that like teens can't like going to rehab as a teenager is a thing, right? Yeah, I mean like I understand that, like yeah, those are useful lessons, right? Just same thing as the Fallout, right? But it's like I don't know. Yeah, I'm just realizing that it's like yeah, my tastes aren't in that space anymore. I would, I keep on joking, like, I would much rather read a Morgan Matson book than, like, watch Euphoria, right? Like, I would, like, seriously, I would rather read a Morgan Matson book. I would rather read Becky Albertalli. I'd rather read YA books than watch movies and TV shows about teens, which is basically the point I've been trying to get to this whole time. I like YA books more than movies and TV shows about teens. Like, that's not such a surprising thing, right? I'm someone who, writes stuff that's considered YA. I consider it YA. My voice is my voice as my writing voice. I feel like my natural writing voice lends itself to writing teen characters. I feel like, yeah. I started writing freaking my first novel as a teenager when I was like freaking 17, like 2 weeks after I graduated. It's like, yeah, it all makes sense. And yeah, that's basically, I feel like, the big conclusion to this like freaking red line conspiracy board episode. I have limited tastes, right? I had a blog post once called I have extremely narrow tastes, and that's perfectly fine. It's like, yes, my tastes have gotten even narrower. Just tell me when the next seasons of freaking Shadow and Bone and Fate to Wink Saga are, okay? Other than that, like, I'm just gonna be reading YA books, okay? I'm just gonna be, yeah, I'm gonna have to do it too because, yeah, have I talked about querying books? Yeah. In order to query a book in this current publishing industry, you need things called comp titles in your query letter, mostly. Yeah. It's recommended that you have like two comp titles that like the story you're querying is similar to. Yeah. And I think it's been a lot easier finding comp titles for my current work in progress than my last completed one, so I'm lucky about that. Okay. Anyways, is that it? Did I just build a bridge and just make that it? Oh man, that was a big freaking dump. I just needed to say it, man. It's been like about a month since I've freaking had a new episode. Oh boy, I feel like I needed that a lot. I needed that. Honestly needed that. And yeah, oh my god. Is it? I'm seeing right now, yeah, the video I was rendering froze, I think. So that's good. Great. You will probably not see this in the month of February. Oh man, I just need to get these videos uploaded, man. I'll find out what's wrong. My laptop is strong enough, man. My laptop is strong enough to render these videos, but like I really do not know what the issue is. Yeah, I need to freaking figure it out, okay? Oh man, okay, so is that it? Yeah, okay, yeah, in conclusion, the Fallout I didn't really like. Euphoria is fine, but I don't think I'm gonna love it. I'm not head over heels. I don't think I ever will be. You know, yeah. And did I say, yeah, Euphoria has a little bit of the problem I feel with, the Fallout, right? It's just like, yeah, too much of the trying to get teens kind of stuff that I just think is just like, ugh, I'm just a bit, tired. And then, yeah, YA authors tend to, in my opinion, write teen characters better and understand Gen Z better. And yeah, okay, here, upper YA and lower YA, the divide, lower YA should come back, right? So, anyways. Oh yeah, what are the examples of upper YA? Yeah, I already said Angie Thomas books. There was like this whole thing of like in the YA space of like, there was this book series, this fantasy book series called A Court of Thorns and Roses, right? By Sarah J. Maas, and like, the whole thing is that like it had to get recategorized to adult, basically like new adult, which isn't really a thing, but people keep on trying to wonder like, is new adult a thing, right? Like new adult in theory is supposed to be like characters in like college through their early 20s, stuff like that, the anime Honey and Clover is very much a new adult story, yeah. But yeah, new adult really hasn't been a thing marketing wise. So yeah, basically. So A Court of Thorns and Roses had to get recategorized into adult because it just had like very explicit sex scenes. Yeah, not the Fade to Black type of stuff. The frickin' like, I assume from what I've heard, it's just like full on, right? It's just gets described in full detail almost. They're just like scenes upon scenes, and the books are just like stacked. Like, their books are freaking door stoppers and like 600, 700 pages long, so you can imagine. And, those scenes are probably why they're so popular, right? Which goes into the whole, like, things appealing to certain audiences, yeah, that's a topic for another day. Yeah, anyways, those are examples of freaking upper YA kinds of stories. Just any stories that kind of deal with like, drugs and like very violent kinds of things, Yeah, rather than just like, oh, cute, fluffy, just going to high school, just romance, stuff, You could also have like romance stories that are like upper YA, I don't know. I guess, I don't know. And in my mind, maybe I distinguish it by like how much like graphic, yeah, like a Becky Albertalli book, I feel like kind of blurs the line because it's like there's just constant like sex jokes and freaking like swearing and freaking dick jokes and shit, right? And like, but in essence, it's a lower YA story because it's just, at the end of the day, it's just a cute, fun story about like teens having fun, Yeah, hanging out at the Waffle House. I want to go to Waffle House, man. Have I said that before? Anyways, am I done? That has been it for this tremendously messy, long episode, but I needed to get it off my chest, okay? I needed to just expunge, expel all of that information. Oh, man. Yeah, this is what I do instead of writing blog posts, because they take longer, right? They're more organized, but they take longer, so... Anyways, that's the end, I think. I will figure out how to render videos at some point in time, so yeah, see you when that happens.